Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we have a 7-game NBA slate for you. Before I get started, can you guys smash that like and subscribe button? It really helps the channel a lot. Really do appreciate it. We do have a pretty interesting slate today. It should be a little bit better than yesterday's slate. We did do well yesterday, but there was a lot of questionable tags that we had to really watch for, so hopefully today it's not going to be quite as crazy. Though there are still some, so let's get in the injury report here. For the Raptors, Quickly and Trent Jr. are questionable. Barnes, Podol, Barrett, and Boucher are out. For the Pistons, Oscar Thompson is questionable. For the Nets, Simmons and Gilliard are out. For the Bulls, Levine and Williams are out. For the Pacers, McDermott is doubtful and Mathurian is out. For the Heat, Hero, Love, and Richardson are out. For the Cavaliers, Mitchell is questionable. Mobley, Struss, and Wade are out. For the Pelicans, Daniels and Hawkins is out. For the Hornets, Mann is questionable. Ball, Williams, Martin, and Curry are out. For the Grizzlies, Jackson Jr., Vince Williams, and Stevens are questionable. Kennard is doubtful. And Morant, Bain, Smart, Z. Williams, and Rose are out. And for the Warriors, Curry is out. So uh, obviously, we got a lot of guys out. I do expect the cash line to be a bit lower today than it has been the last few games, last few weeks rather. It should be in the 265 to 280 range probably today, so that's a little bit lower than it's been. But let's go and get into our core play here. We have Jalen Duren. Now he's my favorite play on the slate. He's been a little bit inconsistent lately, but he has a high ceiling, and he's got a very good matchup here. With injuries to Toronto, he should get some upside, and he's been playing very well uh, in certain types of games, and this is definitely one that he has that big time potential. Looking over at the other options today, Luka Doncic has had uh, 70 fantasy points in 10 of the last 12 games. He's also had 7 straight triple doubles. I'm wondering if he's going to hit $13,000 soon as he's creeping up there. He also had a 70 fantasy point game against Golden State earlier this year, so he has a lot of potential here to do that again. I don't see any reason why he's not going to do that today, as Golden State's defense is somewhat lethargic. It's not great, and I look for him to have an absolute monster game. Looking at Cade Cunningham, he is somebody that's interesting. Detroit is actually kind of an interesting team today. They do have a what appears to be a annoying match against Toronto, but with all the injuries to the Raptors, I think this is not going to be the toughest game. Not only that, but Toronto losing some of their players to trades and stuff has really hurt their defense. And Cunningham has been playing very well lately. He's actually managed to pull Detroit into a couple wins, which is impressive now. But I'm not thinking that Detroit will necessarily win the game, but I do think that they're going to have some guys that uh, pay off fantasy wise, and he's definitely one of them as he's playing really solidly. His price has come up some, but he's definitely worth a look today. Emmanuel Quickly uh, is also in play today. Now he is questionable uh, here for a hip injury, but uh, I do think he's going to be a viable option, assuming he does play. His usage has really got up lately with all the injuries to the team, and his assist and rebound rate has also boomed up, which is really helping his fantasy output. Obviously, his prices skyrocketed as a result because he was in the 7,000s for most of the season, even a little bit lower than that. Now he's boosted up to 8,500. But that said, he's playing very well. If he is cleared to play and he looks like he's going to be at full strength, then he's going to be somebody that I'm going to consider pretty hard, as he has some really nice upside in a team where there's somewhat limited in options. Looking at Pascal Siakam for Indiana, he's also been uh, inconsistent throughout the season. Obviously, since he joined Indiana, his usage has taken a little bit of a dip because he was definitely the prime option on the Raptors when he was there. This matchup is favorable for him though, and he has some nice potential in this one. His price has come down a little bit, which is also helping. Him and Halliburton are not really having those 50 fantasy point games that they're both used to having since Siakam joined the team, but they're playing better as a unit, and so I do like his upside. One thing that I'll also say is that he actually opens up my next player who I actually like quite a bit today, and that's Miles Turner. Turner's consistency has risen since Siakam's joined here. He seems like his floor is a lot safer than it used to be. He's always been kind of a boom or bust kind of guy, and he is still that. But his bottom floor here is not near as bad as it used to be. with Siakam on the floor. It seems to open up some opportunity for him. He's also been very good against Chicago this season, so I do like his potential in this game. Is also at home, which seems to give him quite a bit of a boost at times. So I think he's a great option today, and he was very close to me a core play. I just didn't really want to have two centers in the core play situation here. Oopsie, I can't spell. Gary Trent Jr. for Toronto also in play. He's also questionable with a groin injury. However, his usage has boosted quite a bit lately. He has some nice potential today, and this is going to be a high scoring game, so I think he's a viable option on the slate. Looking at Bruce Brown, let's see, Brown here for Toronto. If he was to maneuver into the starting lineup again like he did last game, he would definitely be somebody I would consider. With all the injuries, it looks like he might continue to stay up in there with Barnes out, especially, and Gary Trent being questionable. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see what the starting lineup looks like for Toronto, but he does look like he's going to have some opportunities to have big games, though he does have that extremely low floor, which I am a little concerned about, but he is definitely worth a look today. And then we'll look at Andrew Wiggins. Now, Wiggins has a usage boost with Curry out. He also has a favorable matchup against Dallas today. Now, the question here is that if he's gonna be able to get over the hump that he needs. He can get in the 30s pretty consistently fantasy wise, but he does have those low floor games that are super annoying. This team does play a pretty random style of basketball, though, so sometimes it's just he disappears. But I do think he's going to have some more upside here with Curry out, as his minutes should be a little bit more consistent, and so he's definitely worth a look here, though he does carry some risk. Overall, I think the slate is going to be interesting. I don't think you're going to have to score quite as many points as we've had to the last few games, and that will help, obviously, if Joker or Doncic were to go nuts. That would definitely play a big role in the total fantasy point output needed. So we'll have to wait and see, but hope everybody's having a good weekend and a good week to start this week. I will try to get some college basketball stuff for the tournament. I'll try to do that every day during the NCAA tournament and as we get closer, hopefully. But those slates start so early sometimes it's hard to get in there and do actual homework on it. So, but we'll get into that as we get closer to the college basketball championship. I also try to do NASCAR every weekend right now, and then baseball will be getting going here pretty soon. So, should be a fun week. Let's get some wins and have a nice day, guys.